The next step, of course, after pouring yourself a dram to kind of conclude the opening of a bottle of whiskey, is to add some cola. Hello and welcome to Whisky Whims with me, Stuart. Today I'm going to show you guys how to properly open a bottle of whiskey. So just grab any whiskey you have, doesn't have to be fancy, just any whiskey. The whiskey that I've got is Daft Mill 2009 Oloroso matured single cask for the UK, and I won this in a Luvian's ballot. Bottled at 61.1% ABV. It's got a wax seal, so it's slightly different to what we usually have, foil seals in that, but nonetheless it's pretty much the same opening procedure. So we'll get right down to how to open it. So unlike foil seals where they have a tab and you rip the foil off and then pull the cork, the wax ones you can have to free loose a little bit, and you might actually need to peel some of the wax off. So I'm going to try and peel a little bit of the wax off, maybe try and coerce it a little bit, see if it's coming. Oh, this is really weird. Is this how you open wax bottles? Am I doing a video on how to open bottles and I don't even know how to open it? So wax seals are a little different from foil seals. With foil seals you usually have a tab and you pull that off and bring the foil off with it and then pop the cork. The wax, I think I'm going to have to peel it a little bit and try and get into the cork somehow. This probably wasn't the best instructional video to open your bottles with a wax cork. It's a lot harder than just a normal tin seal or aluminium foil seal, but there we go, we're getting closer. It's like a Bob Ross painting. It's all shaping together. It's starting to make sense, even though this is not making sense. It's starting to all come together and you're going to see a beautiful landscape soon. And that beautiful landscape is going to be the pop. What a great analogy. I'm happy with how much wax I've got off, because I don't think I'm going to get any more off without making this video about an hour long. Right, so the famous pop. So hopefully the bottle you've chosen is a lot easier, a lot more simple, and it's just a tin foil one instead of a wax seal, because the wax seal was a bit of a pain in the butt. So now all you do is you get your glass and you pour yourself a nice little dram, just like that. So that's how you open a bottle of whiskey. That's how you pour. You know what, we'll put a little bit more in there. And that's how you pour a bottle of whiskey, pour a dram from your selected bottle. The next step, of course, after pouring yourself a dram to kind of conclude the opening of a bottle of whiskey, is to add some cola. 2 bottle openings for the price of 1. So what you want to do is you want to just pour your cola right in that glass, fill it maybe halfway, in fact we'll go there, fill it there, and that's your bottle of whiskey open. That's how to properly open a bottle of whiskey. Cheers. Anyway, joking aside, that was Jack Daniels, by the way. This is the actual whiskey here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Jack Daniels. I hope that's not the Daft Mill. I did get a little bit mixed up. But all joking aside with regards to opening bottles and things, it's Open Your Bottles Week, hashtag Open Your Bottles Week. So I've decided to open my single cask Daft Mill that I got from Luvian's United Kingdom release, and I probably will be sharing this out, do a little kind of giveaway type thing for this whiskey, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and I'll do a couple samples. Whilst the whiskey's sitting, warming up a little bit in the glass, I kind of wanted to talk about flipping and flippers, because I thought with Daft Mill it's probably quite a touchy subject, but with Daft Mill it's definitely inclusive of Daft Mill, because a lot of Daft Mill seems to get flipped. For me, whiskey's all about consumption. It's to be consumed, it's to be enjoyed, memories are to be created, drams are to be shared between friends, family, strangers, and relationships built that way. It's to be enjoyed, discussed, basically just good times with it. So flipping whiskey to me doesn't really make sense, and I can't really comprehend doing it, to be honest. I understand why people do it. I know people want to make maybe a quick buck, some money here and there, but I just don't think it's necessary, really. I can really understand someone going through a hard time or something, and they have this magnificent collection, and maybe they need the money, so they liquidate some of their assets. I can completely understand that, and I can even understand to an extent people possibly buying bottles for future investment. Now that might seem contradictory to the flipping, but for me, flipping, the definition of flipping, or someone who flips whiskey, is someone who gets something and almost as quick as you can say auctioneer, they've already sold it off to the auctioneer, or already put it into the auction. So a limited release, a special release, or something like that, exclusive, that people are all trying to get their hands on. Some people want to drink it, a lot of people want to flip it, and the people that do just get it to flip and just put it straight to auction, that's my idea of flipping. So investment, I can sort of understand people holding on to whiskey to sell it down the line, to sell it in the future, and in a sense that's helped me because I've been able to buy whiskies that I probably would never have been able to try because someone's held on to it and someone's sold it on the auction. Does it make it right? Does it make it wrong? I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of flipping, and I know a lot of people get annoyed about flipping, but at the same time I think it's part of the experience, part of whiskey, and you're never going to get rid of it. The only way people get rid of it is if distributors, whiskey shops or whatever, stop selling to flippers, and the only way to do that is with ballots and mark the bottles, and if they see the bottle go up, that person gets kind of blackballed. They get a black mark against their name and they can't go in for future ballots. But is that fair? I think it is. I think that should happen, but a lot of shops won't do it because then they lose out on custom, and I suppose a lot of shops don't want to do it because they don't want to lose that person as a customer, which makes complete sense. On the other side of things, it scares me a little, or not scares me, but it worries me a little with flipping and with auctions, because you see Daft Mill, other whiskies go up on these auctions for magnificent prices. I believe this cost me £175, I think, £175, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's selling on the auction this month for 500, 600, possibly even £800, because it is the sherried one. So if someone like, say, Francis at Daft Mill is looking at those prices, why doesn't he just sell them for those prices? He can obviously see that they're selling at that, people are buying it at that price. So that's what worries me, that distilleries might end up putting their prices up on the back of whiskey auctions, on the back of people flipping, and it does worry me a little. I'm also aware that there's scenarios where someone will buy a whiskey and it will possibly not turn out to be what they expected. Say they read a review or several reviews, or they have actually tasted it in a pub or something like that, and then they sell it. I can completely understand that. I've done that before. I had Glenlivet Code and Glenlivet Cypher, I believe. Didn't have them open. Luckily tried them in the pub, realised I did not like them, didn't really enjoy them at all, so I sold them on the auction. I got one off the auction and one off the Glenlivet website. I think I paid both £100 for both of them, and I sold them for £100. So I actually was kind of broke even, but I didn't really. I had to pay commission and that on the auction, so I actually lost out in that scenario. But I can understand if someone has a bottle of whiskey and they've maybe held on to it for a bit, and some bad reviews come out and they're like, oh, maybe this isn't worth drinking, maybe it's worth selling, so I can buy other whiskies that I like. So it's hard. There's obviously a lot of grey areas with flipping. It's not just black and white. But the one thing I can't wrap my head around, and one thing that frustrates me loads, is definitely someone who puts their name in for all these ballots, gets the whiskey, and then as soon as they've got it, it's just straight off the auction. Because then the drinker, the consumer, the person who's actually want to try it, yourself, me, we miss out. We miss out on a whiskey to try that. It could be fantastic, it could be bad. We'll miss out regardless. And if we do want to try it, we have to pay some sort of secondary market premium, which just is a little frustrating. But trying not to rant or anything, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I sort of wanted to do a live video of this, but I also wanted to have this out in time for hashtag Open Your Bottles Week. So unfortunately with my timetable and schedules and things, work, I couldn't actually. I'm making it sound like I'm very organised. I don't have a timetable or schedule, it's just work. So unfortunately with work, I probably couldn't have done a live on that week, so I've done this instead. So I hope this sparks a discussion. I hope we can get some comments, see what you people think about flippers, what you think about investment whiskies, what you think about people selling in general, and what your thoughts are on the auction. It smells good. Jesus. I've never had a sherry Daft Mill before. It's always been bourbon. I've heard that the PX sherry Daft Mills don't do so well. However, the Oloroso I've heard a lot of good things about. It smells like sherry so far. It's definitely going to need a lot more time. It's going to need a lot more heat. Where I am at the moment is quite cold, so it's not getting a lot of heat through it. 61.1% ABV. I couldn't even tell you it was that on the nose. I mean, yeah, there is a little. The alcohol is present, but I mean, I can take a big draw in through my nose and it's not burning at all. I think it's the Jack Daniels. That's good. It's really good. That is, it's good. I don't know if it's the best Daft Mill I've had. I'll obviously need a lot more time. This is the first dram, the neck pour. But it's definitely good. That's as much as I can say. It's so, I was expecting it to be, because of the colour and because it's sherried, I was expecting it to be so sherry dominant, but it's not. The sherry's evident on the nose. It's evident initially on the palate, but then these Daft Mill fruity esters come through. It's very Daft Mill-esque for sure. You get the Daft Mill character, and it's beautiful to see that that's not been drowned out by the sherry. I'm glad I'm still able to associate the whiskey with the Daft Mill characteristics, because it kind of proves the resilience of the Daft Mill distillery, if you will. Sorry for sucking up Daft Mill, but this is great. Can't wait to spend more time with it. Hopefully get a full review out on it. I hope this wasn't too preachy or too ranty or anything like that, but I just feel like for Open Your Bottles Week, I thought I'd open something that I think's spectacular and also talk about flipping, because Open Your Bottles is all about trying to sort of prevent that. Enjoy the whiskey, experience it, try it with other people. That's what it's all about. It's not about making money. Yeah, if you're in a hard time, yeah, I can fully understand you want to sell whiskies and maybe you need to, but it's there to be drunk, it's there to be enjoyed, so I hope you do drink it and I hope you do enjoy it, and that's all I've got to say. So thanks for watching. I've been Stuart, this has been Whisky Whims. I'll see you later.